Walker really holding steady, trying to keep Moore and the rest of the field at bay. Nice and tight for the first wave as they'll start to pick up speed coming down the straightaway. Here comes your leaders down the front stretch and a little bit wide already at the back. Green flag is underway as we fan out to 2-3 wide. And Ryan Moore doing a great job of staying steady, but you see Nigel Maidment looking to the inside of Rob Walker. He's not going to be able to do it, but Maidment going to battle Ryan Moore there for second place. Coming around turn number 1. So far, so good for Rob Walker as he opens up that gap a little bit. Moore gets a little bit of a nose advantage through there as Maidment and McDuff are also battling for position, but still Maidment trying to go high, wide, and handsome through turn number 2. We'll see how they look coming out of turn number 2 as Maidment, your pole sitter for race number 1, now moves his way into second place. McDuff in third, and looks like Killarney has fallen back just a little bit. As you see Walker, Maidment, Moore, and McDuff. 1, 2, 3, 4. Green flag for the second wave back there. We'll catch up on them in just a little bit, but so far single file for the rest of the field. Looks like Maslov has made his way into fifth, so that's only one spot lost for Killarney as they work their way through turn number 5. And a couple of hard chargers already making their way through the field. You see the, I believe that's going to be the one of Wayman trying to get his way around. But so far, so good. I see the looks like Krylo might be up there as well, but the second wave making their way through turn number 4. They'll set up for turn number 5. But look at Maidment. He's about 1 to 2 car lengths up on Rob Walker. That's not something you see normally. Maidment, though, has found that extra gear, and he wants that lead early on. It's Walker and Maidment 1 and 2. As 0.3 of a second separate your leaders coming into the front straightaway. I love this camera shot here going into turn number 1 as you see Haas try to go to the inside of Killarney through turn number 1. I don't know if he's going to be able to get that position though, as that's going to be a good setup spot for Killarney, who's going to be on the inside. And looking at that, I believe that Killarney able to keep that spot away from Larry Haas. And Haas falling back into the clutches of Adam Abrams as well. Krylo also with good contention back there, as you see a nice gap already between the Spec Boxsters and the GT7s, which the GT7s, you've got Randy Bergram ahead of Ted Fretch so far this race. Again, that's a 12-lap race as we set up for race number 3 later on this afternoon, but still no change amongst the top, and Rob Walker's finally gotten up to the front. You know, we heard at the dinner last night that Rob Walker said, you know, I attribute my race win yesterday and my race win at Long Beach and Porsche Carrera Cup North America as just luck. Good to see that Rob Walker's also a comedian as well as he works his way around turn number 9. You're on board with your leader as he sets himself up for another lap. Again, 0.3 of a second separated the two drivers last time. Walker with the fastest lap of the race so far, 31.228. So a good start for the number 53 of Walker, your Spec Boxster leader, as lots of battles going on through the back of the pack as well. There's Ryan Moore's on board, as you see that he's Maidment has lost a little bit to Walker, but still close enough to where if a wheel goes wrong or something goes off with Walker, which it's Rob Walker, come on, we know that doesn't happen that much, that he will be able to capitalize on something. But looks like that Maidment's just really quick through this 3, 4, 5 complex. A good battle back there with McDuff and Maslov for 5th place. Killarney's falling back just a little bit into the clutches of Larry Haas still, as another lap will be in the books here shortly through turn number 8. And you see a battle for position back here with Krylo, and I believe that's going to be Abrams there, because there's Wayman. So yes, this is going to be a battle for 8th place between the 704 of Adam Abrams and the 682 of John Krylo. Let's see how they are through turn 9, and it looks like that Krylo has gotten around Abrams, so move that blue Boxster up into the 8th position. Everybody kind of saving their equipment because they've got another race and they've got to keep the same tires that they qualified on. Oh, we got one car off there in turn number 9. Not sure who that is. We'll see. Looks like it's a drop off there, but numbers here shortly, and you see already in GT5, Zoris, fastest lap of the race, and already really opening up the hurt. Looks like that was Ted Fretch who went off into the gravel to the runoff there, but Porteous coming back out. So it might have been Mike Porteous actually. Let's go to the Spec 2.7 battle where John Momeyer is he's battling traffic. He's got Vivek Hazari behind him as well. Momeyer catching the back end of the GT5 traffic, and we'll see how that works out here for the 6 of Momeyers. He is your race winner earlier on, and now closing in on the on this battle right here. You see Jane Scarcello, and I believe Jane Scarcello is in the Miata. There's Mike Porteous in the 170, so he is back out there ahead. Kunal Hinduja's not logged a time. I'm not sure if he's got some sort of issues with his transponder, but Hinduja is falling back down through the order. But look at how close Momeyer is. You see out of the back, he's got a decent sized gap between he and Vivek Hazari, which Hazari, I mean, look, he's got a lot of track time here, although most of it's on 2 wheels. He started here in the 550 Superbike, 400 modified, and lightweight battle of the twins, but he is still a race instructor, so it's good to see he's doubled his wheels and put a cage around him. I mean, this looks like a fun motorcycle track, but I think it's just as fun a 4-wheel track as it is a motorcycle track. So looking at the back, looks like Momeyer gets around 1, gets around Scarcello. Now he's going to go to the inside. Porteous knows that the time is now to drop the hammer and open up that gap just a little bit, but look at Porteous. He's trying to get Momeyer. However, that's just an out-of-class battle right there, as you see a little bit of skippage, but Porteous hanging tough as he tries to go high, wide, and handsome around turn number 2, and I'm trying to look out on the left side of the windshield as, oh, that's actually gonna be my right side as they work their way through turn number 4. Yeah, Hazari's really closed in. You see how much bigger that he is. Of course, now it's Vivek's turn to have to get around Scarcello and Porteous as they work their way up and around turn number 4. Now set themselves up for turn number 5. These two look like that they're side by side for a pace lap already. So it's going to be easier said than done for some of these cars to get around. And now Scarcello gets into single file. That gives Vivek a chance to at least get around 1. Let's see if he gets around the other one. So yeah, Vivek still side by side with Porteous in the 170, and he's tucking in behind the Scarcello, and Scarcello is going to drag him along and bring him past there. Let's see when he gets around Scarcello, but I think once that happens, the race is going to be on for Spec 2.7. Here comes Hazari. We'll take a look at also a battle for position coming off the top of the hill, and that looks like that is right there. That's the red, white, and blue. Also, you've got I think it's gonna be, no, it's not Brando. So that is, yeah, definitely Brandemeyer Kovac and Adam Abrams. Abrams in 9th, Kovac in 10th right there. You see them coming around turn number 8. Now they set themselves up for turn number 9 as the gap last time was 1.1 seconds. Behind them, you've got a decent battle with Ray Hinduja, and looks like Briganti Actually, so yeah, Ray, Hinduja, and Briganti are all involved in the battle back here as well. So lots of nice tight battles for position. This is actually for 15th. You see that Alicia Ray trying to hold off, and look who's coming up as well. It's Zoris in the 216. You see she's trying to close in on these three cars, making their way through the field. So but about a half second separate this battle for 15th, as now you see Briganti going around the outside here. That's what I love about this, the low horsepower classes. You really got to work you catch up to them really close, but you really got to work to get around some of these drivers as we're working 6 laps to go. And now you see Zoris picking her way through the field, gets by 1. That's going to be Briganti in the 700, and a couple more Spec Boxsters also involved. Saw a little bit of dust kicked up, but one tire can make a big difference in showing how much dust has been picked up. Either way, working up and around turn number 4. I'm just glad that we're not as windy today as we have been all day yesterday. So I'm not, we're not seeing a shake of the cameras, but either way, it's great to be here and great to see how much racing we have going on in this field. And it's Ray, Hinduja, Briganti working their way through turn number 7. Zoris gets around Hinduja, now sets up for Ray, who's in that blue 834 Spec Boxster coming through turn 9. Be the first car you see. And look at how high Zoris is, as she still could not get around Ray. And now Hinduja's going to try and go around the inside. This is going to be a battle for 15, 3 wide, but Zoris makes easy work. And of course, because of that, you've got Hinduja, who's gotten around Ray. So move Hinduja for the time being to 15th, but that's going to change here shortly as they still work their way around. Oh, nice save by Hinduja coming off of turn 1. I swear that right rear just slid its way off, and he was able to catch it, which is a great thing. Now Zoris gets away from this battle as it keeps tightening up for Spec Boxster. At the line, it was Hinduja over Ray by 0.092 seconds, but Alicia was able to get around and get that position back as they come down through turn number 5 once again. Those two are really opening up a big gap, to say the least, over Gil Briganti in the number 700. Gil also running the time trial program, so a lot to be said for somebody to get out there, get that extra track time, and looks like that it's been helping him out because he's been really hanging nice and tight with this pack of 3 back here. And of course, I'm looking at the back as well. You've got obviously Scarcello, but Hazari and Momeyer close to one another as they work their way around. 4 laps to go as your GT5 leader Zoris comes down on the front straightaway once again. And Ray's going to have to try and keep Hinduja and Briganti behind her as they come down to the line. Once again, Hinduja this time tries to go around the outside, thinks better of it as Ray shuts the front door on him down the straightaway and takes a more defensive approach heading into turn number 1. It doesn't hurt either of their approaches, but take a look at how close Briganti is getting to Kunal Hinduja. As it was about 5-6 car lengths last time. It's cut in half now because of the battles. We got a car that picked up a couple of dust particles. No harm, no foul. Working into turn number 3. Let's see how this battle for 15th shapes up. And still, Ray gets a little bit deeper on the brakes. Of course, it's tough to get around Ray. She's a level 2 instructor. She's also an instructor for PDS. So if anybody knows how to get around these parts, it's got to be Ray. Of course, the Motorsports Foundation with a fantastic training program for instructors, basically industry-wide. Scott Elkins and the crew did such a great job lining up. Of course, now it means Scott Elkins gets to play instructor for IndyCar officials too. So I guess it's multifaceted to say the least. Working our way through turn number 8 once again and looking out the back. We got a tight battle there for position. I think that is further back in the Spec Boxster class, because you see Bob Chang hanging back there. John Momeyer, though, with a huge gap between he and Hazari. Let's see, there's Momeyer coming out of turn number 9, and let's see here, there's Hazari. So Momeyer doing all he can to keep the Hazari in a decent gap. Of course, he is following James Scarcello. David Gold falling back through the order. He has gotten, did he get by? Let's see what happens. We may have lost the 591 of David Gold according to our timing and scoring screen, but either way, I gotta say, Momeyer's having a great weekend so far here at Willow Springs, as again, he was your provisional winner in race number 1. And if all goes well, he's got a 6-second gap between he and Hazari. You see James Scarcello up ahead. They were both able to shake Mike Porteous, but still not able to get around one another. I think David Gold might be somewhere either on the track or in the pits, because he has not come by yet in his number 591. But downhill of turn number 6, back in 5 back in, setting up for turn number 6, going up and down through the backside of the circuit. And indeed, Bergram and Fretch did get around him, so David Gold is either A in the pits or B, he is done for the day, as you see Momeyer trying to do what he can to go around the outside of Scarcello. But here's the thing, 2 laps to go, still plenty of time for any move to happen if he can't get around Scarcello, but at the same time, why push the envelope? Got a battle for position back here with Karen Robinson and Brian O'Meara, as O'Meara was tight on the front straightaway, was able to get around Robinson. That is for position, and that's going to be for 12th place in the Spec Boxster class. And of course, you'll see here in a bit, every once in a while, you see Zoris popping in. So Aspasia looking pretty good so far for her first weekend here with for her race weekend here at Willow Springs. White flag is out for Rob Walker, 1 lap to go, and really this has been the shortest lead that he has had. He's only gotten the stretched the gap to 2 seconds, but Ryan Moore fallen off just a little bit, way back off of Maidment, as Moore and McDuff are trying to fight. Not necessarily fight, because there's a decent sized gap for that bottom step of the podium, but Maslow, Killarney, and Haas are all in position for that 5th spot, trying to get that top 5 here, as Walker once again showing why he's so good, able to really gap and maintain that gap. And of course, a lot of that comes from racing in Porsche Carrera Cup North America. It's such a tough series, especially in the Masters class, where really one of a handful of drivers can win at any point in that class. Of course, when you got Scott Blend in the same class as you, yeah, that's no surprise that you've got to really up your game, and it shows here in Spec Boxster, as he does his best to try and do well, and of course does well here in Porsche Owners Club, not just on the track, but also making sure that we have this broadcast. So one of the primary sponsors, the blue flag, is out for the driver up ahead, and that's going to be Bob Chang. But they're going to come down off of turn number 9, and Chang's going to get the lucky pass, as the checkered flag is out for the one and only Rob Walker. As he comes across the stripe, he will make it 2 for 2 this weekend here at Willow Springs. Either way, Walker, Maiment in row 1, Moore, Maslow in row 2, Killarney and Haas in row 3, Carlo and Kovac in row number 4. Eyes on the starter, and it is an early green flag as we wave out to 2-3 wide. And here comes several drivers, but I gotta say this, Maiment trying to make the most that he can. Moore tries to go to the inside of Walker, not gonna make it happen so far, as they're side by side for second place. Walker gets away nice and clean clean, but everybody trying to slice and dice their way through traffic. Killarney comes from the fifth spot, and he's going to make his way up to third, or at least try to, as he tries to go around the high side. He's going to settle for fourth so far, so at least one move has been made with Killarney taking that position away, as Rob Walker and Nigel Maidman are starting to open up just a little bit of a gap between the rest of the field. Green flag for the second wave as they make their way around turn number one. We got our eyes on this lead pack as Spec Boxster looking pretty good so far, as everybody making their way through turn four at this point, downhill through turn five, and now setting for turn number six. It's Rob Walker trying to make a clean sweep of the weekend here at Willow Springs, up and down through the Monroe Ridge, down through Wings Leg. We'll see the field snake their way through, and back there and coming around turn four, you see John Momeyer trying to get around the inside of one of the GT7 competitors, and he's going to not be able to do that, as those 944s are going to open up just a little bit bigger gap coming around turn number six. Again, we're working 12 laps here today, as the leaders coming down the front straightaway. It's Walker, Maidment, and Moore. 1, 2, 3. Got a battle for position with, it looks like Maslov in a battle there for position. Indeed, that is actually Killarney falling back just a little bit, with Maslov finally reeling in the 227, and Maslov gets that spot. And now Larry Haas looks like he wants a shot at sixth place right now, or fifth place, I should say, as Maslov moves up into fourth place. Little high back there between Krylo and Kovac. Then you got Abrams and Gold racing for position. And of course, I hate to say it, I kind of jinxed the wind, not only in and around the track. You see how much it is starting to shake. The good news is we're not seeing any fires around, so I won't have to worry too much about that. But your top three, they have started to check out as they're coming around turn number six. And they'll come down through seven, but Maslov gets around Killarney quite cleanly. Krylo and Kovac in a battle for seventh spot right there. Of course, you got Adam Abrams, David Gold also battling for position. Brian O'Meara, the interested spectator in that battle. Also watching Alicia Ray and Kunal Hinduja go toe-to-toe once again with Gil Briganti, the interested spectator. And Mike Porteous not too far away from that battle. Trying to see any other battles, and near the back, everybody kind of strung out in the different classes so far. But keep an eye now on the, we'll call it the Killarney Haas battle, as Larry Haas really shown quite well so far this weekend. And he looks to the inside, not going to make it happen behind them. You've got Krylo trying to keep Kovac behind him, and not going to make that happen, as Kovac with a good run coming off of turn number one. I was going to say about Larry Haas, he has two best finishes so far this season, with sixth yesterday, seventh earlier this morning. And of course, if he goes up to continues his climb up through the field and into the top five, it's going to be a great showing for Larry Haas. As we said, got the Hard Charger Award yesterday, so no surprise that he's making his way all the way up through the field. Finally found that extra gear. Of course, knocking at his door right there is none other than Kovac. So Branimir looking pretty good in that number 318. You see first and second making their way through turn number 8. They've gapped Ryan Moore just a little bit, but Maslov, looking at the lap times, he's not closing in too much. Got a battle further back there, and that looks like it's Karen Robinson and Brian O'Meara. I'm sorry, that's going to be Brian O'Meara. Karen Robinson, Brian O'Meara. As you see, Mike Porteous looks like he's finally making his way up through the pack. He was 15th overall. I think that he is leapfrog Ray and O'Meara. Will confirm that through timing, and actually confirming it with my own two eyes, as Porteous closing in on O'Meara and Robinson here. They coming off of turn number 9. So whatever Porteous found, he found it pretty quick. Of course, he's running 2 seconds a lap faster than most of this pack. Now he's got to get around O'Meara and Abrams, which I think he's going to do quite handily, but no, O'Meara's going to go around the inside there of Abrams, and they're side by side. Porteous and Abrams are. That is for the 12th spot as O'Meara goes up to 11th, and now it's going to be harder for Porteous to try and get around. He goes high, wide, and handsome around turn number 2, and he's going to make that pass happen, but now he has his sights set on the 704 of Adam Abrams. And I think once he does that, it's going to be game on for Mike Porteous. He started from pit road, had to get around the second wave, and now has his sights set on trying to close in. And he's going to have another 6 seconds before he catches up to the top 10, but still O'Meara and Porteous battling for position here to get themselves closer to the top 10. But Gold, he's basically in a zip code of his own between this battle, as he's running 2 seconds faster than these guys. I think Porteous may have lost a little bit of ground there. Not sure if that we can confirm that once we get across the line, as working 8 laps to go. Andrew Wayman. There's David Gold. Here in Killarney, may have lost another spot in turn 1 to Larry Haas. Haas trying to close in on the best finish of the season for him, as O'Meara and Porteous battling for that 11th spot. We'll see them come into picture here momentarily, but Nick Killarney, after winning last race out, I should say, or winning at the race 2 in Button Willow, just having so many problems trying to get a good finish together here at Willow Springs. Of course, we have a couple months off for him to kind of find that extra juice once we get to the historic WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca, July 31st through August 2nd. So plenty of time. And here's the thing, Larry Haas is stepping away, and now Kovac knocking at the door of Killarney as well. So we'll see how long it takes for Kovac to get around Killarney. You see back there, those battles still heating up, and I do see that once again, you got O'Meara and Porteous, and you got a little bit of a gap back to Abrams, another back to the Hinduja Ray battle for the Spec Boxster class as well. By the way, in Spec 2.7, Momeyer with a 30-second gap over Vivek Hazari. That's not a safe gap, because we know that Hazari, once he finds that extra oomph, he usually gets up closer to Momeyer in GT5. Asbasia Zoris, your GT5 competitor. Chris McDuff, who we had in Spec Boxster, looks like he's made the change to GT5. So that's an interesting development here in the last couple of seconds, I should say, before the race. Now, remember, he was McDuff had a good showing in the Spec Boxster class with a 3rd and a 4th, so he made some changes in that GT4. Rob Walker, though, oh boy, he's got Nigel Maidment to deal with here in just a little bit. As you see Mike Porteous trying to get up into 11th around Brian O'Meara. They're losing ground to David Gold, who's, by the way, 8.4 seconds ahead. Hello, little high there, but still a decent line going into turn 4. But the 170 of Mike Porteous, who's 9:18 on the screen, he's going to get that position. Go to the GT7 battle coming out of turn 7, or it's between Fretch and Burgum. Half a second separate those two. Oh, he's also got one eye on our battle for the lead, where Maidment, for some reason, has caught Rob Walker. It's a matter of passing, but let's also keep an eye on this battle here between Killarney and Kovac. Let's see if Kovac decides to go to the inside. He's going to look to the inside there of Killarney, and indeed, he's going to get that position through turn number 1. So Nick Killarney having so many problems, and that's going to give Krylo a chance to close in, as Killarney shuts the door on Krylo coming out of turn 1, heading into turn number 2. They're nose to tail through 2 and heading into 3, as we're we're keeping one eye on that, one eye on our lead. And once again, like most Orange race weekends, there's this one race where everybody finds everybody else, and they're so close to one another. So yeah, you got the battle for the lead we're watching. The battle for, we'll call it fifth place, because now Kovac has closed in on Haas for position. There's your battle for the lead right there. And I've got to say, it's absolutely fantastic to see Nigel Maidment close in on Rob Walker. Now there's your GT7 lead, as it still looks like that the 22 is indeed ahead of the 713. So Ted Fretch ahead of Randy Bergram. You'll see them come into picture here shortly. And Rob Walker's doing a heck offensive master job, as Randy Bergram's going to come to the inside, and he's going to get the lead GT7 for the time being. But I'm kind of curious why Rob Walker is using the snake early on. But here's the thing. He sees the lap traffic ahead of him. Let's see how they play out as they come through, as we got a car spun off in turn number 6. Not sure who that is, as they're going to back towards the tire wall a little bit. And Nick Killarney losing off to John Krylo there. But now the battle for the lead. Oh, man, I'll tell you what. If I am Rob Walker, I'm thanking my lucky stars that A, I made the pass when I did. B, that I was able to use one of the cars as a pick, because now that that gap between Walker and Maidment, it's at least doubled this time by. And of course, that also had a little bit of an opening there for Randy Bergram, but Fretch has caught up to Randy Bergram, and we're not sure who that was. I think that's going to be Branimir Kovac that spun off there in turn number 6, as he is falling down the order as Momeyer and Hazari have gone by, and it does look like that, yes, that is Branimir Kovac who spun off in turn number 6. So that's going to be another pick that Rob Walker will have to worry about here. But here's the thing. Branimir has been pretty quick, almost on the pace of the leaders. Now you've got this battle for position closer to the back of the pack, and that's going to be it's like one of the blue. We got Kunal Hinduja, Alicia Ray, Gilbert Genty involved in this one. And I believe that is, yes, it is definitely going to be the 704 of Adam Abrams leading that train. So right now it's Abrams, Ray, Hinduja, Briganti. We'll see that all swap over as they come across the line, because last time by, Ray was behind Hinduja by 0.034 seconds. So she was going to make that pass off into turn 1. She did indeed. Of course, up ahead of them, you've got Porteous and O'Meara in a battle for position with one another. There you saw your Spec 2.7 leader John Momeyer coming around that final turn. Porteous coming from the back of the pack, trying to make some sort of pass, as look at how many passes we have into turn 1 today, as you see the field working their way around once again. And this time, Hinduja gets around Ray. It's close again, once again. So Ray just having problems with turn 1. We'll see if she can close in. And you see right there, there's the O'Meara Porteous battles. They're locked in, heading out of turn number 2 and into turn number 3. They're still side by side, but now O'Meara able to close the door on that right behind them. Abrams leading what is a tighter train than we've seen the past couple of laps, as Hinduja has finally found that extra bit of oomph to get up there. And you see the gap now that Walker has on Maidment, and it's, like I said, when I said it doubled, I'm more than doubled right there. But still watching this battle, a couple of great battles here between O'Meara and Porteous for 12th overall in 10th in class. And yeah, Abrams, Hinduja, Ray, and Briganti sitting back there. Of course, now that brings in John Momeyer possibly to the fray, as he is not too far away. You're on board with the POC president, as there's a 2 packs of 2 there, but you look out in the back and you don't see anyone, which is absolutely fantastic for Momeyer as he makes his way around that final corner, sets up for the straightaway here at Willow Springs. Down the front straightaway, Chris McDuff with the fastest lap of the race, 31.035. So McDuff starting to think that he made a good move going from Spec Boxster to GT5 in the past couple of hours. Here comes Hinduja to get around Abrams for that 12th spot. Indeed, he's going to make that pass look easy, but Bergenti trying to see what he can do to get around Alicia Ray for 13th in class. And of course, John Momeyer has finally found his head of steam, and he is caught up to the back of this pack, so he gets around Bergenti. Now sets his sights for the Ray and Abrams battle, as Abrams has fallen back just even further since Kunal Hinduja passed him just a couple of corners. And right now you see the downhill through turn number 5 and 6. Work their way on the left-hander 5, and then up and over the Monroe Ridge. Down Wings leg, they'll come in just a little bit. And of course, all Alicia can do is just sit there and just let him pass here on this braking zone going into turn number 8. But she's not going to make it easy on John, which is no surprise. Why would you? In spite of being out of class, you want to make sure that you're still staying up in front. But those Toyo tires looking pretty good right now on that Spec Boxster. Of course, this is the last time they'll have to run those this weekend. And Alicia lets John by down the front straightaway. They come once again past the pit entrance. 2 laps to go for the field right now as Rob Walker holding on to a pretty decent gap now. It's 6 seconds. Oh, there's a spin right there as O'Meara goes for a slide. Hopefully he didn't catch Porteous, and Porteous indeed goes around. So Porteous gets up 1 spot. That'll end that battle as O'Meara, he's just sitting there watching traffic come at him. Oh, you saw that with Momeyer. Everybody able to get by. And now you see O'Meara finally able to point the car forward and go move. Tell you what, that's not something that that's not something that anyone wanted to see. White flag is out as Rob Walker once again puts on a clinic so far with Nigel Maidment 6 seconds behind earlier. Let's see what he is this time by. I think Maidment realized that he wouldn't be able to catch up to the master that is Rob Walker. And in the lead right now is here comes your leader through turn number 4, up and over the ridge. He'll go downhill for just a little bit. Now there's a couple of cars up ahead that he can lap if he so desires. One of them is Vivek Azari, but I don't think that he's going to push too hard because he's got a 7.7 second lead over Nigel Maidment. Down near turn number 6 they come, and now into 7, setting up for turn number 8. There's Maidment coming through turn number 7, but once again, Rob Walker completes the full sweep. As he comes around turn number 9, he can just coast from here, and the win will be his. Off of turn number 9, checkered flag is out. Rob Walker makes it a complete sweep, 3 for 3 on the weekend. He's your winner in Spec Boxster.